Let's go, Rider Nation.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah, here we go. It's a feeling now. Hit 'em high, hit 'em low, 'cause we're dealing now. Everybody's giving it all they got, 'cause we're ready.
Oh, no, man, chicken's so good. Oh, hey, this is the Piffles podcast. Sorry. Eating some Red Barn chicken still. Oh, my goodness. This stuff is so good. Welcome to the Piffles podcast. Your Saskatchewan Roughriders and roasted chicken enthusiast podcast. Thanks so much for joining us here this week. You got me. I'm Alex.
I'm hungry.
And I'm ready to go like a Winnipeg 42. Let's go.
A little bit jealous there, Greg, since you couldn't join us on the bus.
I didn't even.
Red Barn.
Which is funny because I can see the screens below, and I was too busy making sure I had everything else. I didn't see you pull out the chicken until we were fully on screen, and all of a sudden you just have a chicken leg in your mouth, going, "What is going on here?"
It's a good piece of chicken right there.
Hey, but I've already told you guys know my go-to is the bloomin' onion burger, no tomato, with spicy fries and gravy. Like, that is you could like that thing's gonna be on my tombstone. That is my go-to order at the Red Barn.
The Banjo Bowl bus trip, of course, stops annually on the way back at Red Barn and Moosomin. And thanks to Furlan a couple of years ago, I now bring home 15 pieces every single time we do that. I bring Tupperware specifically for it. And this is what's left. So it's been a good few days, let me tell you that much.
It's been a good last 4 or so.
Yeah, Winston right beside me is really liking that I have Red Barn chicken with me. He might be happier than I am about it. Anyway, this is your Saskatchewan Roughrider fan podcast. Thanks for joining us here, watching wherever you get your podcasts, or listening wherever you get your podcasts, watching on YouTube or SaskTelemax TV on demand. You can give us a follow on social media at Piffles Pod. I'm at Real Alex D.
You can find me at Safamod.
And as always, I do not need nor especially want your pity follows at Greg on Sports.
Piffles Podcast, of course, is brought to you by our great friends at Dairy Queen on Elphinstone Street and Sask Drive in Regina. We're also proud to be sponsored by Kathy Festian of Roy LePage Next Level, Churchill Brewing Company, District 306 Regina's Tactical Laser Tag Experience, Bigfoot Vodka, and Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas. Banjo Bowl. Greg, unfortunately, you weren't able to make the trip.
You say unfortunately like that wasn't a good thing.
We had a lot of fun at his expense, actually.
I'm sure
and he'll never know about it.
No, I will not.
But it wasn't just the trip itself. It was the game for once. That was actually really, really good for us. And that's where we're going to start right now. Let's get to the show. Let's recap that Banjo Bowl. It's time for the opening kickoff. As I finish off this piece of Winston hates me right now. He's so jealous. 21-13. The Riders win the Banjo Bowl, move to 10-2. First Banjo Bowl win since 2018, which was our first bus that we put on. Third time ever, this Riders team is 10-2. 1967 and 1970 were the other 2 years. 67, they lost their next game, so they went 10-3. But 1970, they actually started out 13-2. So this year's team still has a little bit of work to get to that mark, but that's future. You know, I joked about them. Like they got to lose one more game sometime soon here, because nothing good happens to teams that finish 16-2. And get that bye in the first week. So, 15-3 would be just fine with me.
Definitely hit the over on the win total. That's for sure.
Well, the Banjo Bowl, let's talk about it. We'll just get it out of the way right now. The CJ Reavis hit on Zach Collaros, because that's dominating absolute all talks everywhere right now. Greg, we'll share what we thought live. you watching the game on TV, what did you think of that hit from CJ Reavis on Collaros?
In real time, and I tweeted it out. I'm like, if that is roughing the passer, just switch to flags, or I used a few more curse words in it. But the fact remains is Reavis heads up, hands up, chest hits, then head hits. And then I've seen where people like Bomber fans look at it like it was like Kennedy's assassination tape going, his mask hit Zach in the ear hole at 0.2 seconds on this frame. Like, it was a football hit. And I saw John Hodge put out there that I don't understand how these linebackers have to hit that, try to aim for the bottom of the mask. And it's like, just go down an inch and hit it. Like, it was an errant hit. He wasn't going for the head. But nothing you can say to the Winnipeg faithful is going to make it better for them. I've seen the wildest stuff out there, how CJ Reavis should have been kicked out of the game for that, how CJ Reavis should be out as long as Zach is. Once again, we're in the situation where fans want eye for an eye when football, one, is a violent game, and two, it was an accident. This is not a Garrett Marino situation. This was a football play.
The problem I have with is now we're seeing people making references that this is the third straight Banjo Bowl where Zach Collaros has been hit by a dirty play. Garrett Marino, absolutely dirty. Dude doesn't belong anywhere in this league. The others on him have been clean, unintentional hits. This was as perfect a tackle as you could ask a guy to make coming full bore unblocked at a quarterback. And if you actually watch the clip back, he leans his head back as he makes contact, trying to avoid it. There is no way he could have made that tackle much better other than going in, spear down, shoulders in. And that's the kind of hit they're trying to get rid of, is that head down so you don't make head contact. But then you're putting the crown of the helmet forwards. On the flip side, I see what people are saying. By rule, roughing the passer. I have no issues after having looked at it. Is it weak? Yes. But can you make an argument for roughing the passer? Sure. But anything beyond that, calls for fines, suspensions, kicked out of the game, and like you said, the eye for an eye is beyond absurd. This is a fast game, 2 inches difference, and we're not even talking about this hit. The only reason we are talking about it is because Zach Collaros got hurt when his head hit the turf. Because if you're telling me that helmet contact is what caused his concussion, then I agree full-fledged with Milt Stegall that he should never see a football field again, period.
Well, that wasn't even the first time Collaros was wobbly in that game. He, after that sack by, I think it was Carney, earlier when he got taken down, he laid on the ground for a little bit. At the game, you could tell from where we were, it was on our side of the field. We were in the upper deck. You could tell he made contact with his shoulder first. You could tell from up there. And they showed the replays because they thought it would benefit the Bombers. And again, initial contact was not with the head. It was with the shoulder. And this is where I have an issue with this being a penalty in the first place. Because what is a defender to do? You mentioned John Hodge. He did interview Willie Jefferson in the scrums after the game and asked him about the hit. And even Willie Jefferson said, what is a defender supposed to do? We can't duck our heads. If the quarterback ducks his head into us and we're going straight forward, that's still on us. How can we stop that as a defender if the quarterback ducks his head into us? We still get a penalty? That's not right. I'm all for player safety. I'm all for, if you take a guy out at the head, Jackson Jeffcoat on Brandon Bridge, I'm all for absolutely throwing the book at the guy, because that's the only way you're going to eventually eliminate these hits is by, throwing the book at somebody and suspending them for however many games, fining them, whatever. But at some point, we have to let common sense prevail. Yes, sure, by literal letter of the rule, I guess you can call that a penalty. But even then, there was no intent to hit Collaros in the head. There was no maliciousness in the hit. Reavis did not drop his head. He did not drop his helmet, did not lead with the crown. Just straight up hit him hard. If the initial contact was with the face mask or the helmet first and then he hit his shoulder, 100% that's a penalty. And you can talk about fines and suspensions all you want after, whatever. But the fact is, initial contact was with the shoulder, and this is pro football. This is still a violent sport. You're gonna get hit. And if the initial contact is with the shoulder, it's unfortunate that Zach got hurt. Like 100%, you don't ever want to see anything like that happen to anybody on the field. But I guarantee if he would have, he popped up when he eventually popped up, he ran off the field pretty damn fast. If he would have just got up right away, nobody would be saying a word. But because it's Zach Collaros, because it's the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, all of a sudden this is a problem. How many times has Trevor Harris in the last 3 years of him being a quarterback with the Riders taken a hit just the same as that? Well, maybe not this year with our O-line, but there's been times where our quarterbacks have taken that exact same hit and nobody says a damn word about it.
Take us out of it. I said to somebody, I can't remember if I tweeted it out, but if this was Nick Arbuckle, that call is not made.
No, probably not. And I get it. Superstars, you see it in the NBA, they get calls. Tom Brady got a lot of calls.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But you see it all the time. Michael Jordan got him in the 90s, right? Like the superstars get the calls. They just do. I get that. But at some point, again, this is just my only issue is just let common sense prevail. If you have to
still gets fined.
If you have to slow it down frame by, it's like pass interference. If you have to slow it down frame by frame by frame by frame, then no. But this one to me it's cut and dry. Initial contact was not with the head, should not be a penalty.
I bet you he gets fined. I will
probably
I'll put $20 on it. He gets fined this week. And then all the Bomber fans are going to see he's a dirty player.
Yeah, that was not a dirty play. I'm not sure like Willie Jeffrey, what is the defender? What is players on defense supposed to do in this situation? You're saying that the area to hit is from here down to the knees.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you hit a guy in the knee. Well, oh no, all of a sudden that's too low, so you got to raise that up. Okay, hitting him here now is because he might get his chin strap as well. Okay, well, now you're shortening that strike zone. So at what point do we just not let players touch the quarterbacks? Why have O linemen? Why have D linemen? Why have anybody allowed to rush the quarterback?
Yeah.
Because that's where it's trending. And I get it. It's probably going to come down to flags on quarterbacks at some point, not in the near future, but in the future, it's going to happen.
Well, and look at Brown's hit on Strebler last year. He was getting drove into the ground and just happened to hit him on slightly around the knee area. What do you do in that situation? Do you try to roll out of the way so you don't touch the quarterback?
When you're going full speed,
yeah,
you can only move so much.
And also, as a defensive player, your job is to get to the quarterback by hook or by crook. You got a big offensive lineman trying to hold you back. It's not like you are Junior Murtaugh that's just going to lay out of the way. You got to do your job or you're not going to be here anymore. What good is a defensive lineman that doesn't tackle or a linebacker that doesn't want to hit? You have to be able to play the game with a certain level of confidence. And if you're going to be second guessing every hit, you think people are complaining that the CFL is sloppy now. Guys aren't going to tackle anymore.
Anyway, not a penalty. Shouldn't have been. I'm not surprised that it is, of course. That's going to get called most of the time. But I hate that call. I really do.
If they start calling that now, I want to see the same call go the other way if it happens. That's the one thing we're always asking for, and we will ask for until the end of time, is just consistency. That's the one thing we don't have. Is you'll get this kind of call where it was by the book a penalty. Sure, you could maybe make the argument. But then the next time it seems even clearer and they're going, nope, call in the field stands and you move on. So if we can just get that semblance of clarity and not have Tom MLSE out there with a giant poop-eating grin on his face while he makes that call. Oh, that's what pissed me off more than the overturned call was you go to him and before he says a word, you know which way it's going because he's just grinning like a Cheshire cat. Oh,
I think that made you. I wasn't even there, and I knew that made you the maddest. Was how happy he was to make that call.
Death, taxes, and me getting pissed off at CFL refs. 3 of life's great guarantees.
I don't have your rant on.
We can't play that one anyways.
Time, yeah. Your Al Bradbury one still lives somewhere in the deep dark holes of the internet.
That is for Piffles After Dark only.
Maybe we'll play it on a post-game show sometime.
Wasn't Bradbury the replay official on this one?
Sure was.
Yeah.
He sure was.
Yep. But overall, that game, it took a while for the offense to get going, which in that in that game in the Banjo Bowl itself, usually if the Riders get going, it takes them a long time to get going. But also we've seen that over the last, handful of games here. It has taken the Riders a while to get going offensively. They did eventually get going a little bit, did enough when they needed to. But I think in that game, this was a game that was defined by that interception by Marcus Sayles at the end of the first half with 30 seconds left. The Bombers were up 13-3 and trying to push the ball at the very least to try and get a field goal. If they go up 16-3, honestly, this game's probably over. Sayles gets the interception on Collaros. A couple plays later, Harris hits Tommy Neild for a big play. Pardon me. And Lothar hits a field goal at the end, makes it 13-6. All of a sudden, that's just a one-score game again. Okay, a little bit of momentum our way. And I feel that they actually carried that over to the second half. And it was just this defense, especially lately in the beginning of the year, they weren't getting turnovers, which is why we had so many issues with the zone defense. And yes, that zone defense still gave up some plays in this game. It's going to, but they're getting the turnovers now. 4 interceptions in this one. That one by Sayles was the big one. And I think that was the main turning point in this game.
Well, when you've got a team with the 2 leading interception guys, you're forcing some turnovers. Like, I know Tavon Campbell was a big question mark for a lot of people due to his age and his lack of meaningful football while he was down in the NFL. But he's come back showing you he still can be that guy. I think he's
probably the defensive player of the year right now.
And most outstanding Canadian, I think, right now. I'm having a hard time thinking of another Canadian right now on another team that might push him. Brady's obviously going to be there. Rourke is probably going to, but BC's not doing anything right now. I think Campbell might be the West nominee.
The thing that surprised me most about Tavon Campbell was I didn't realize he'd vaulted into the lead for interceptions. He's just been silently good isn't the right word for it because his picks are coming at such big moments. The one at the half against BC, the one last week against the Bombers, and now the effectively the game sealer against Winnipeg. But even with those big moment picks, I didn't realize he'd had 6. He's having a stellar year. Sayles is exactly who we needed him to be, and God hope he's healthy going forwards because we need him. He's missing at practice again today. But you're right. That play at the end of the half, his pick was a difference maker because it didn't feel like the Riders were in it. And then all of a sudden it's a 1-score game going into halftime. And you felt like they had all of the momentum and all it took was 3 points and Brett Lothar having his best day of the year minus a point after that. Even I wanted him cut for.
So many people. So Lothar goes 5 for 5. Everybody knows how I felt about Brett Lothar this year. I'll be completely honest. He deserves to have props for this game. 5 for 5. They do not win this game without those clutch kicks.
Yep.
He was excellent. He's one of the stars of the game. He absolutely deserves all the kudos for that, despite the one missed extra point. He was excellent. And you saw at the end of the game, he had a smile on his face when he hit that last field goal. So maybe that sense of relief. I hate that it took 12 games for him to, feel that way again. But hopefully this is the actual turning point, because Corey Mace has made it clear this guy's the kicker and they're not going to change it. If they did, they would have changed it already.
Well, here's the question for you now. He lines up for a kick to win the Grey Cup. Compared to last week, how much more comfortable are you now?
Because he went 5 for 5 in Winnipeg? A lot.
Slightly. Yeah. Steve will attest to me in this game, every time he lined up for a field goal, I was kind of like head down.
100%.
Right? Especially in a close game where we needed those points. But at least in this close game where we needed those points, he gave us those points.
Yep.
But so many people, it's funny because so many people right now are so latched onto that extra point miss.
Yep.
And you see it on our Facebook comments, though, that people still want him gone. It's like, where were you guys like 2 months ago when he was awful, telling me to calm down? And now he's 5 for 5, and now everybody's saying that he should be sat for a game because he missed an extra point.
Well, I'll admit it. I tweeted after that missed point saying it's Campbell fair time. And I'm thrilled that he made me eat my words, because, again, we don't win that game without him. And it wasn't like his kicks were near misses. They all felt perfect right off the leg, other than the missed extra point that did set people off. But this was the first time at the end of the game in quite some time I felt confident in Brett Lothar, and I want to see that continue. I hope he has, because we saw his run last year when he went on, was it 23 game or 23 kick streak.
Yep.
He's has that ability to do it. And it's not like he's lost the talent in a year. It's all up in his head. And if that one big game and big win in Calgary is what he needs, I hope it is.
In Winnipeg?
What did I say?
Calgary.
Well, I hope he gets a big one against Calgary. It's going to be in Regina, though.
Yeah, it better be in Regina.
Yeah, 10-2. The Riders have pretty much solidified a home playoff game already, and now with Edmonton, thanks Edmonton. I knew Cody would do us a favor at some point.
I was never happier to get one wrong on Piffles Pick'em than that one.
Riders 2 full, or what is it? What are they? 3 full games up.
2 full games.
2. Sorry, yeah. But a good solid lead in first place right now for the Riders. I'm talking about kickers. Sergio Castillo missing twice. Thoughts on Mario Alford's return, where he went backwards 10 yards? Did
you guys hear me in Winnipeg from my couch screaming, "What the hell are you doing?"
There's a couple other words in there that I think I heard you yell.
Okay, so you did hear me then, yeah, because I definitely use those. That made no sense. And I just, I'm having flashbacks of the week before, and we're like, his momentum took him in the end zone. I'm like, Mario, that's not going to work for you when you run back 5 yards and end. And then his little, oh crap, hop and holding the ball out. So
then,
to the line.
I will say, because that was on our side of the field as well, too.
Yeah.
He catches that corner when he comes out of the end zone.
Yep.
There was a lot of room.
Yep.
There was a ton of room. So I don't blame him for bringing it out and trying to make a return. Obviously, you can cast the blame on running backwards 10 yards to the end zone, but to go around, there was room. There was a lot of room there. If he was able to get past that one defender, he just couldn't do that. So in his defense, it was there.
I don't know if you guys saw I'm sure you guys seen the clip by now, but they showed Corey Mace after that, and he's just looking up and just hands across his face going, what did I just witness?
Yeah.
And these are the kind of things you're going to get from Mario Alford. You can basically go back to my rant last week. You can't give a guy crap all last year about running straight for the sidelines and then go, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, and then say run to the sidelines.
Go ahead and show it off quick.
My onesie.
Hey, Parker.
Onesie.
There you go. All right,
cool.
Run. He got new football pajamas.
I see that.
Anyways, you can't give him crap for running straight to the sidelines and then criticize him for trying to break one the next year. you're taking the good with the bad, and I will take the other, 85% of his returns. It just happens that back-to-back weeks he's made mental farts that we need to curtail.
Okay. Now remember that feeling. Would it be any different if we had to give up a safety or because we got sacked if it wasn't for that brilliant pass to Joe Robustelli?
Well, we didn't.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah,
that's my point. Everything's good in context because it worked out.
Absolutely.
If it didn't work out,
Are you new to Rider Nation?
Going, what the hell?
Are you new here? This is how it goes. If it works out, it's great.
Still,
to fandom in general.
I understand that. The fact remains it was still stupid. And we're just not mad about it because it didn't hurt us.
Well, they got 3 points out of that drive, actually.
Yeah.
I think he'll get those out of his system. I think he's playing with a little bit of Dre McRae looking over his shoulder again, despite all the fumbles. And he's trying to show that he's got it still, and he's still the main guy, and he doesn't have to worry about that. We all saw Dre's fumble hands. So let's just hope he's got those out of his system, and we can go into the game against Montreal and just break one straight ahead, just north-south.
Want to get a couple thoughts from you guys on a couple other things from this game. Obviously, when the game was towards the end with about 4 minutes left, Tommy Stevens came in to kind of close it out, run the ball. What do you guys think of the Tommy Stevens package in that situation? And then bringing Trevor Harris back in on a 2nd and 4 to, again, now throw the defenders off and then throw it for a first down. Thoughts on Tommy Stevens and what the offensive plan was there at the end?
I love Tommy time. I know some people are like, why can't Jake Maier get any time? I just rather kill the clock. And that's definitely been Corey Mason's mindset this year is go 1-0. He doesn't care about getting his backup quarterback reps. He just wants to get out of every week 1-0. And that's why we are probably never going to see Jake Maier unless we're up by 30 points.
Knock on wood after a comment like that. Never going to see Jake Maier. Jesus. Again, are you new here? Alex saw me at the game. Literally every time Tommy Stevens sat on the field, I lean back and I do the same thing at the game. Lean back, feet on the chair ahead of me or on the railing ahead of me. And it's Tommy time. Everything feels stress-free. And I love that he has turned into what everybody thinks Chris Streveler still is. Every time he's on the field, he has the opportunity to break a big play, but he's still consistently going to get you those 4, 5, 6 yards on the plays where he's keeping the ball. That's what made Calgary so good, or Winnipeg so good in 2018-19, was they had that option, that short yardage quarterback who could push the pocket for 5 yards every time. It is such a nice feeling.
I'm still waiting. He's going to pull it down one time and air it out.
Oh, we know it.
It's going to happen. I'm just waiting for the when.
West final.
That'd be nice. Grey Cup even better. But, okay, here's the question. Better low-key signing, Tavon Campbell or Tommy Stevens?
Yes.
Ooh. I think Tommy Stevens because third down and short yardage was such a big problem for the Riders over the last number of years. And this is one where we literally knew once he was signed, it's like, okay, that problem's solved. There was still doubt, and cornerbacks weren't the issue with the Riders last year. That wasn't their problem. So, I mean, until Amari Henderson at the end of the year. But yeah, I think there's a lot more cautious optimism with Tavon Campbell, which makes sense, like as Steve alluded to, that he hadn't had a lot of playing time recently in the NFL. And we haven't seen him play in the CFL for a while. So I can understand the questioning of that, especially at the salary that he was reported to get as one of the highest paid defensive backs or Canadian defensive backs, whatever it was. But I mean, both are incredible signings.
I'm honestly going to side with you and say Tommy Stevens. And that's funny when you look at Tavon Campbell as potentially at this point the defensive player of the year. and to have a short yardage 3rd and 1 quarterback as your most important signing is, well, that explains the last half decade.
To be fair, Greg did say low key, so
They were both. Everyone expected not much. Like no one's expecting much of literally a third string quarterback. No one no one thought he was coming in to challenge Jake Mayer. We knew what we signed him for, and everyone was like, Devon Campbell, does he still got it? No one expected big things of him, and now we've got a guy that this offense would not be the same without him, and a defensive play and a possible defensive most outstanding Canadian in the wings here.
I think the difference between the two is Tommy Stevens is doing exactly what we expected him to do. And Tavon Campbell is far and above the expectations I think we had realistically. I don't think anybody had him at 6 picks at this point in the season. But yeah, it's a great problem to have once again.
Now, speaking of the defensive backs, Kosi Onyeka getting this start at safety over Jackson Ford, who popped up with a knee injury at the end of the practice week last week. Thoughts on Onyeka at safety?
Didn't hate it. Didn't notice him. Honestly, on the TV broadcast, I don't know what you guys saw from where you guys were watching.
I mean, Dembski had a couple plays over the middle. You saw Ontario Wilson have 1 or 2 over the middle as well, too. You're going to have that regardless of who the safety is with this defense, with how they do play that zone. So I'm not going to say that was Onyeka's fault by any means. I thought he was fine. Nothing great, but nothing bad by any means.
At this point, when you're down to your 3rd or 4th string safety and you're getting fine, I expect no more, and I'm thrilled with that. He just has to go out there and not be a reason why we lose.
I'm surprised the Bombers didn't air it out over the middle and test him a little bit.
Zach Collaros, that's why.
Yeah, I was going to say Chris Streveler. Also, why?
Yeah.
Pick your poison.
Those quarterbacks are awful. Glad they're not ours. So anyway, the Riders winning the Banjo Bowl 21-13. Great team win. And it's a shame that Bombers didn't bring out the trophy for us. Not that the Riders would have wanted it, but
cowards.
But you know damn well that if they would have won the Stampede Bowl, they'd be parading around with that trophy. They'd be asking for it.
That trophy is just to make Willie Jefferson happy. That's all that trophy's for.
Just so we can do his little banjo plucking motion just one more time. And
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Other Rider news, the released receiver, Josh Ali. Could be one of those where, hey, practice rosters expand in a week or so. Stay close to the phone. We might see his name pop up again in the next little bit here. But for now, that's the roster news. Well, that's the opening kickoff presented by Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level. Let's get to Remember That Guy, sponsored by District 306, Regina's tactical laser tag experience. The who's who and who's that of Rough Rider history. Greg, how many Van Stones is this week's?
I think a 3, maybe a 2.
I think it's going to be a chance this week.
I think it's going to be pretty easy.
Which means my 2-game streak is about to end.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Let's remember that guy.
This former Duke Blue Devil grew up as a Stamps fan. Drafted by the Riders in the first round. Is on 2 Grey Cup teams, but technically only qualified for 1 ring.
Levi Steinauer?
No. 10 seasons as a Rider.
Oh, yeah, definitely not Levi Steinauer.
11 defensive tackles in his career.
Duke.
Winner of the
Receiver.
JP. Huh?
It's the receiver. Oh my god.
Winner of the
Fantuz? No, it's
winner
not.
of the
Never
JP
mind.
Metris Trophy in U Sports for the best down lineman. So you're way off on that one.
Well, the 11 defensive tackles, I figured, we had a lot of picks in those days.
And the final hint, legitimately the best man to go in the plaza.
Oh, Chris Best.
There you go.
I forgot he went to Duke. He did. 11 tackles, hey?
Yeah, he had 11 tackles.
Pretty sure somewhere in my
Oof.
man cave here, I have one of his playbooks.
How'd you get his playbook?
That's a story for off the air.
Oh,
Oh. But yeah, drafted in the first round by the Riders. Was on the 2017, but only played 3 games that year, so he did not qualify for a ring. So this 2013 is his only ring. And yeah, 10 seasons as a Rider.
Yeah.
And yeah, going to the Plaza this weekend. So I thought for sure you guys would know I was doing a Plaza one.
I was thinking you were probably going to do something. I didn't think you'd pick one of this year's honorees. I thought you'd go with somebody who you think should be in next year.
No.
That's how I thought the transition was going to go, because I knew you were going to try and transition into it.
I legitimately forgot it was Legends Night this week, so
Well, hopefully the team forgets.
Bet on yourself. Bet on yourself.
Oh yes,
I wish I
forgot
had a
he's
good
coming
story
back.
about Chris Best. I don't. He was just man.
He
He was
was-
solid. He was solid.
Yeah, low key good at his job. 10
Yeah.
seasons,
Yep.
you did not have to worry about that, man. He was just really good, and for a good portion through the middle of it, played all 18 games. Like he never
Yeah,
got
his
hurt.
durability. He
Yeah.
was super reliable.
So just one of those low key. I grew up in Calgary. Actually, it's funny because when I was doing the research for this, they talked to him about, because he grew up in Calgary, and he talked about growing up a Stamps fan. And he goes, "So was it hard to play against your team?" He goes, "First play of an exhibition game, I took a punch to the face, and that was the end of me being a Stamps fan." But yeah, he went to Duke. He went to Duke for 3 years, and then he finished out his U Sports career at Waterloo, and that's where the Riders drafted him out of.
Yeah, that was a home run draft pick. That's for sure.
4th overall in the 2005 draft, I believe.
Roy Shivers actually did care about Canadians. How about that?
It's a Canadian draft. You had to take a Canadian. Just pass. Roy, you need to take someone. Pass.
Oh, I think that'll be the Chris Jones way, actually.
No, Chris Jones just traded the picks away, so he didn't have to say pass.
Well, let's remember that guy. Sponsored by District 306, Regina's Tactical Laser Tag Experience. With that, it's Legends Night. It's Steve Molnar, Chris Best, and Alex Smith being inducted into the Plaza of Honor this weekend. Of course, Steve Molnar was supposed to go in last year. Family couldn't make it. So they pushed it off to this year. So he's going in. And Chris Best and Alex Smith. He was
legend coach.
Man, the linebackers this team had when he was the linebacker coach. He was the special teams coach as well, too. Yeah. Kitwana Jones, Ray Williams, I think, was under him. I think Jarrell Freeman, Mo Lloyd, Reggie Hunt, like the list of linebackers that had just incredible seasons with Alex Smith as a linebacking coach is that there's a reason he's going to the Plaza.
Oh, and like I said, when he was first announced a few years ago, he was coaching the Regina Thunder because the man loves to coach and lead men. Like it was awesome watching him give his knowledge to a younger generation because he just loved the game so much.
We'll get into Legends Night a little bit more in the game preview coming up. But I did want to bring up 2 other things. One really quick. We didn't talk about the full story about Jayden Dalke last week because we didn't have the full story about him running to going to the hospital and coming back and finishing off the Labor Day Classic. But the fact that, I mean, this guy is a machine. You love to have guys like this on your team. And he went to the hospital because he couldn't feel like his fingers. He could still move all the extremities and everything, but like it was tingling. So they were worried it might have been a neck injury. So that's why they raced him to the hospital. And it was got him cleared. They drove him right back. So he missed the halftime because he was at the hospital. and they drove him back, and he went back in and finished the game. He was cleared right away, but it was a little bit of a scary situation there, just because, when you think about the neck and how that can get into, spinal injuries and whatnot. But it was funny because they said, do you want us to tell your parents? Like, your parents come to every single game here. They have season tickets. Sit right behind the bench. We see them there all the time. Actually, we saw the Dalkes in Winnipeg. Our bus went right by his parents. And he was like, no, I don't want them to worry. Like, we'll be fine. Wait till we find out what happens. And then, then we'll talk to them. So, big Dalke energy, BDE. It's a real thing.
What do you say about the guy at this point? Rushing to the hospital, coming back and finishing a game. He's everything we've said about him over the last few years, and that kind of solidified it.
I just find it funny that no one knew. It seems like no one knew about it until I brought it up, because it's like they talked about it in the post game when they gave out the awards, and like no one knew, because I brought that up on the Sports Cage was on last week, and Barney's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, he went to the hospital, came back." How come no one's talking about it? I'm like, I don't know. But it happened.
Yeah, they kept that one pretty quiet. Rob Vanstone had a good article on it throughout the week here, or last week. Yeah. The other thing I want to talk about in the odds and end zones, MLSE. And this is a big one. Owners of the Argos teaming up with the Buffalo Bills to promote football in Canada. To promote NFL football in Canada. So they announced this partnership. They're holding a series of youth flag football camps in Ontario. The October 4th Ticats and Argos game will be the future of football themed. There'll be Bills and Argos merch and prizes. Well, I would hope that there's Argos merch at an Argos game. Doug Flutie and Jim Kelly will be there. MLSE Sports Bar is going to sell Bills merch and be a destination to watch Bills games on TV. And a new limited edition Bills Argos apparel line will be launched by a Canadian company. Oh, maybe OVO.
OVO?
Yeah. I'm hearing a lot of Bills to promote football in Canada, which tells me, again, and we know this, but it's such a piss off that MLSE does not care about the Argos.
No.
So we're getting a Bills themed game in Toronto? Are we going to have an Argos themed game in Buffalo? Are you kidding me? Come on. This does one thing. All this does is promote the NFL game. These flag football camps, are they going to be playing 3 downs? Or are they going to be playing 4 downs? I guarantee it'll be 4 downs. So this does not promote any kind of grassroots Canadian CFL fan. It promotes none of that. This is all about the Buffalo Bills saying, let's get more money out of Canadians.
Oh, 100%.
The thing about this that's most annoying is that with this move, MLSE has now spent more time, energy, and money on marketing the Buffalo Bills than they have the Toronto Argonauts. A team that has now won 2 of the last 3 cups, has been fairly solid over the last half decade, and is in need of a marketing push in the greater Toronto area. And instead MLSE says, what would make it sense here? Let's invite the wolf into the hen house and bring in the NFL to the CFL games. I don't understand. I hate this with a flaming passion. This is a stupid choice for MLSE. It makes sense for MLSE from a business perspective. Fine, especially the sports bars promoting the Bills as the go-to, places to watch the games. Fine, whatever. But from a CFL perspective, this does nothing for the league. This does nothing for the team. And I don't get it.
And we're also not even a month removed from MLSE shipping off their own home games to get more money, because they understand that Winnipeg, Hamilton, and Saskatchewan.
But they tried to make it work. Did you not hear what Pelly had to say in the interview about that? No. They looked at every option. They thought about it. They really did.
Yeah, I'm sure they thought about it, going, yeah, we don't want to spend the capital, so we'll just.
But we didn't want to only have 5,000 or 7,000 people at our games.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is about taking everybody else's money.
On the plus side for the doomsayers, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this isn't a canary in a coal mine right now. But for all the doomsayers, this is the end of the Argos, and the NFL is going to move in. They don't have a stadium. Like it's one thing to expand BMO for a Canadian football game. BMO is not ready for an NFL game. They legitimately do not have anything in the Greater Toronto area, as proven by they couldn't move the Argos to a college stadium. So we are a long ways away from the Argos. I saw someone tweeting, "Well, is this just a way to put an NFL team and call them the Argos?" No, we're a long ways away from that. Don't worry about that. Also, the Bills would have to give up their territorial rights. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure MLSE might write a check for that, but we are a long ways away from that. Because the NFL's teams are billions with a B expensive now. And I don't know if Toronto, I don't even think MLSE has that capital right now.
I like that the Bills, I don't know if it was the owner or president, whoever was there, maybe it was the marketing guy, whatever. They asked him about, what about bringing the Bills to Toronto again? Would that happen? Oh, yeah, we'd consider it in the future. Really? You're building a brand new state-of-the-art building in Buffalo. You're not giving away any of your home games for that.
And they don't, like I said, they don't have, it was one thing when Skydome was multifunction, with all the money they put into it to turn that into a baseball only facility.
Mm-hmm.
They have no place to go. They legitimately have no place to go.
So they're playing this off like it's a good thing for the Toronto area, which will help football and the Argos, which it will not. It's not going to do anything for the Argos.
I'm not.
You might get the odd family that it's like, oh, hey, Jim Kelly's going to be at that game. Let's go. Or, hey, Josh Allen said something nice about the Toronto Argonauts because he got paid to. Let's go to a game, Dad. You might get the odd few that do that, but this does absolutely nothing. All this does is hurt the Argos. This takes any potential young fans that could potentially be Argos fans and marketed towards and pushes them directly to the NFL.
I would argue, though, the genie's out of the bottle on that one. I guarantee you these so-called football camps are just rebranded NFL flag football camps that are already happening anyway. So the CFL gave up that high ground years ago.
Which is stupid.
It was stupid. It still is stupid. Like, it's a thing I fight with. So anything for grassroots football, I'm always going to be behind. Fact remains is, I guarantee you that is just a drop in the bucket. It's the fact that the MLSE would rather put money marketing, like you said, the Bills and this now relationship with the Bills than actually putting any money into the Argos. That's the problem. And it's been made worse since Rogers took over MLSE completely, because they only do major sports, and that's the way they view. That tells you how they view the CFL.
Yeah, this is just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know if I'm at Steve's level of passion for hating this, but I don't like it. It does nothing. It's fine to do a partnership, but it does absolutely nothing for this side, the CFL side.
Hate it.
Speaking of hating things, Greg,
I have never been madder leaving a Regina Thunder game in my life.
Oh, I was talking about how I hate you.
I was gonna say.
Fair enough. Fair. That's
Speaking of other things I hate. No, you're right. That's where we're going. Thunder and Hilltops last week at Mosaic Stadium. 18.
I was close to Steve's Bradbury rant about the officials, and don't get me wrong, like these guys put in a lot of time, and I'm usually very easy on the officials, but that one drive, the Thunder Hilltops defensive battle, like it was 2-2 after the first quarter. I think Yeah, it was like 12-11 at halftime, and the Thunder held the Hilltops scoreless through the third, and the next thing you know, pass interference, and the Hilltops all of a sudden got a touchdown, and they're up 18-15, and that's the way the score ended. It was a heartbreaker. So now the Thunders need to go up there and break the hearts of the Hilltops fans, I guess. But it was a wild week. The you guys saw the Calgary Colts in Winnipeg getting ready to play the Rifles, and I made the joke is like, well, they're about to get stomped, and they lost a turnover battle 8-2 against the Rifles and won with a 52-yard field goal in the end. So it was a wild PFC weekend, that's for sure.
And the Calgary Colts were actually staying at our hotel room, or our hotel in
Your
Winnipeg.
hotel room, wow, you spent an entire team.
It was a big room, let me tell you.
But yeah, no, it was like I said, it's funny though. This is the first year that I can remember that we have a perfect rotation of teams beating other teams in the PFC, because typically one team remains undefeated, and that hasn't happened this year.
I mean, ultimately, you want that parity, right, in every league. So this is a good thing for the PFC.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like because you've got your team. Like typically, the joke was Calgary and Edmonton Wildcats are always the weaker ones. Hilltops and the Thunder are always going to be the top. Then you have the Huskies and the Rifles fighting for scraps. And now everyone seems, especially that middle tier, the Hilltops and Thunder are still
they're the top
blowing
two.
teams out. Yeah, they're still the top two, but now you have those other four that are coming closer together, and some that are obviously with the Rifles being the Hilltops this year are starting to excel.
And that's who the Thunder have this week.
The Rifles, that's going to be a rough game.
Yeah. Sunday, 1 p.m. at Libel Field.
And it is Pack the Park night. So I believe we're even opening the berm. So if there's not a seat in the stands, there's room in the berm, and there's a beer garden. So there you go.
Sounds like a good time to me.
You had me at beer gardens. I might have to check that one out.
All right. Well, let's get back to the Riders here. Time for the enemy preview presented by Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas. Riders facing the Alouettes Saturday at 5 p.m. Legends Night. You good, Steve? You okay?
Not really, but we'll be okay.
Okay. Not a lot of news on the Riders side of things, because I don't take Tuesday. Like Tuesday was their first day of practice, but it was a walkthrough more than anything. Which I think with having back-to-back against Winnipeg and then a Calgary game before that, it was a rest day, we'll call it, for the Riders, because when you look at this injury report just from the first day, it does not look good, especially in the secondary. But I'm expecting Wednesdays to be a lot different. But Tavon Campbell did not practice. Jackson Ford with the knee injury did not participate. Nelson Lacombo has the ankle injury. Marcus Sales did not participate. He did have that leg. He kind of had grabbed his leg a little bit in the Winnipeg game in the Banjo Bowl.
Yeah, he hit knee on knee with the receiver on that play. It looked like a Charlie horse, or at least a knee bruise, probably.
Yeah, so that's just, to me, that's just okay. Just keep him healthy. Just he doesn't need the day of practice. Let him rest. CJ Reavis, leg injury, did not participate. So concerning, maybe. We'll see what Wednesday's injury report is, because I expect at least a couple limited or at least upgraded participants in this one. So the interesting thing, though, was Sam Emilus was listed as limited in this practice. So with the bye week coming up, gets this game off, and then the bye week off, and who knows, maybe he's back after that.
What are we going to do with all of these receivers?
Hopefully turn one of them into defensive backs like we did with Deron Carter if these injuries keep popping up.
Tell Duncan Busby, can you play DB?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the guy, though. That's Sam Emilus comes on, which is the Canadian that comes off. It's got to be
DDB
or DDB, right? So
well, Picton wasn't on the roster because Joe knocked him off.
Yeah. So it's pretty clear that it's going to be Del Duncan Busby is the odd man out here. So it's a good problem to have.
Damn you, Tommy Neal, for being so effective.
You can never have too many touchdown Tommies, okay? We need more. We should collect all of them.
Like they're on Yuccas, right?
Exactly. Except useful.
Herdman Reeds.
Except useful.
Yeah, I was going to say
outside of special teams.
Yeah. But for the Owls, it's more of an interesting one because it could be McLeod Bethel Thompson starting. It sounds like it'll be him starting for the Owls.
What?
He was taken off the 6-game injured list. Why? Have you seen their quarterback? Have you seen James?
Did they not watch McLeod Bethel Thompson? I'm sure they gave him a paper cut or
Especially
someone
against the Riders.
Tanya Harding him in the dressing room after his last performances before he went on it. Like, come on.
This is a team that is desperate for a win right now. They have crashed without Davis Alexander. And with everybody else seemingly, coming for that second spot in the East, Toronto's only 1 game back. Ottawa's only 1 game back. Plus you got to throw in the crossover there as well, too, with BC and Montreal. And I mean, you can even add Edmonton.
Even Winnipeg right now is sitting 6-6. BC's 5-7. Edmonton's 5-7. Montreal's 5-7. Toronto 4-8. Ottawa 4-8. Like, these guys are going to be fighting tooth and nail to the very end. Like, yeah. And meanwhile, the Riders are going to be like, let me know when the playoffs start.
But I mean, that's why I know MBT's an absolute shell of himself over the last 2 years. But this is just to try and kickstart their offense in any kind of way, because right now they're trash. I mean, luckily they have Tyson Philpott and Austin Mack back in the lineup. Had him back last week. Didn't really do much with James Morgan as their quarterback, and Cameron Dukes didn't do too well either. But they got to do something. And this is a team that's probably feeling a lot of heat internally right now about, at least getting a win. So
honestly, if I'm Montreal right now and McLeod Bethel Thompson is not 100%, how do you even remotely justify bringing him off with the defensive line that Saskatchewan's going to throw at him? The last thing you want is a guy who's stuck in the pocket back there to throw the ball. He's going to get murdered. I don't understand it, but you're right. It's a team that needs some kind of spark. And if they're turning to McLeod Bethel Thompson to provide that spark, that tells you just how far down they've fallen from a team that we all predicted preseason to be the team out of the East and realistically challenge for the Cup. So it's one of those how the mighty have fallen situations, and it can't just be because of Davis Alexander. There has to be more to this than losing one guy, because it seems like it's more of a team problem. It's not just the quarterback play, which has been atrocious.
This is what happens when you bet on yourself. Sometimes you lose. Hey, I just don't want to see the ghost of Shea Patterson show up in Regina and somehow beat us, and then we have to hear about how we never should let Shea Patterson go.
That's probably going to happen, actually.
We're going to get Spurgeon wind by Shea Patterson.
Oh man, maybe they'll make.
Why would you put that out there?
Hey, have you seen my picks lately? I think I can say anything and it will not happen.
At least I have the excuse that it's my coin that sucks.
Although I was 2-2 this week, so.
Montreal also going to have Marc-Antoine Dequoy back and Mustafa Johnson on the D line as well.
That's big for them. Like if they can withstand the Riders. And it's not like the Riders come out hot, but if they can stand the Riders' big shots with Dequoy and get some pressure with Johnson, even though our offensive line has been pretty good lately, they could stay in this game. It's definitely going to depend on, can MBT find your Philpotts, find your Max.
Well, and it's good for Montreal's success. It's going to come down to that short game because if you saw, 34-6 in Montreal, we absolutely destroyed them. What was it? 8 sacks in that game. I think that was the 8 sack game that we had. The D line just ran roughshod that game. So, I mean, for the Riders, obviously it comes down to getting pressure on the quarterback. And that's literally going to be the keys to success for the defense every single week with the zone defense that they play. But against a guy who doesn't really move around the pocket a lot, I expect a lot of short passes, some misdirection, screen passes, especially to Philpott, those quick passes to Philpott. So I'll be watching how they cover him, whether it's with Reavis, whether it's, I don't know, Milligan, whatever they're going to do, but that's going to be the key for the Riders defense is stopping Philpott. Because if they can stop Philpott, they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. And I like to see more of a running game. We didn't see, big yardage. We haven't seen big yardage recently from the Riders run game, at least from AJ Ouellette. Some very solid yards, some important yards. But I'd like to see them get back to that ground game.
Especially as we get closer to the colder months. AJ is going to be maybe have him on a pitch count, but let's make sure that he's going to, you got to keep him useful. You got to keep him going, right? So.
And it's pretty easy to keep him on a pitch count when you got Mario Anderson, chomping at the bit to get out of there too. That's not a bad 1-2 to have. And this O-line.
And then what are you going to do when other touchdown Thomas shows up? Thomas the Train.
Oh.
We got too many good players.
Is this a Rider podcast? This is weird.
Fire that.
It's not how it's supposed to go.
Here's the problem. I'm already telling you, this is going to be a problem in the offseason because somebody's going to have to get let go out of all these players. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be everybody's favorite players.
If you can make any trades in December, get a draft pick or two out of anything. That's what you're going to want to try and do if you're Jeremy O'Day. There's a lot of good players on this team. Mm-hmm. All right, well let's finish off the show here with our picks. Let's do Piffles picks.
Piffles picks.
Well, folks, when you're right 52% of the time, you're wrong 48% of the time.
I'm so close to my 52%. It's not even funny.
I was just gonna say you are at 28 and 26. You're going for it this year. You are really, really good.
I started off pretty strong too, and I've just kind of slowly come back to where the 52% lands.
And the coin has completely flipped. No longer Steve's best friend over the last couple of weeks.
We had a good run, friend.
First game, Winnipeg at Hamilton.
Hamilton minus. Oh, go ahead.
Nope,
you go.
Okay. I'll say it's Hamilton minus 1.5.
Hamilton minus 2.5.
4.5.
Not enough. Winnipeg sucks.
I was going to say, you guys forgot Chris Streveler's playing quarterback this week.
Ooh.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if they put out Zach Collaros.
They played Dalton Schoen on a torn ACL. I wouldn't put anything past that training staff.
Yeah, can we talk about that? What were they thinking?
They weren't.
Somebody
they were
from
thinking
that
Grey
staff,
Cup year.
Someone from that training staff should be fired. That's ridiculous. Even if it's a minor tear of an ACL, minor tear. You get the imaging back now so fast on these things. With all the advancement in technology, we know what these injuries are relatively soon, let alone a week after it happens.
We probably should. We didn't explain this. So the people that don't know, Dalton Schoen tore his ACL in the Calgary game against Winnipeg, and then played in the game against the Riders Labor Day.
Yeah,
on a completely torn ACL, which is why he went out of the game because apparently that's a bad idea.
Just
ridiculous.
Stupid. And I get it. you're all in on a home Grey Cup this year. You want your best players out there. I totally understand that. But the situations, the long-term situations that Mike O'Shea is putting these guys in, like, he needs to know better to say, no, man, you're not okay. I'm not putting you on the roster.
Well,
You are hurt. You're not.
his comments to Milt, because Milt's like, Zach Collaros needs to stop playing football. He needs to start thinking about
Very fair comment from Milt.
Yeah. And then O'Shea just lost his mind about it. It's like, come on, man. Like, yes, at the end of the day, it's Zach's decision. But all you need to say is it's Zach's decision, and as a franchise, we'll support him in whatever he wants to do.
Zach's also the guy that lied about symptoms before just so he can
Also
get
true.
to play. He's an alpha, right? These guys are pro athletes. You don't get there without being, the strongest guy, without being that alpha athlete. That's fine. You're always going to want to play. I understand that. Sometimes you need somebody to pull you aside and say, look, man, like, especially with Zach, right? Like, long term, you have what, 3 kids, I think is what he has. You got a wife and 3 kids. Like, you can't raise these kids if you're chained to a bed the rest of your life.
To take it into the wrestling space, Daniel Bryan, aka Bryan Danielson, same thing. History of concussions. His wife literally found him in the shower because he was basically having a seizure because he was lying to everybody about his concussion problems. He had to retire for the longest time.
Yeah,
because he just couldn't deal with his symptoms any longer. Like, these guys will lie to do what they love to do.
Mm-hmm.
They need people to look out for them, and that's what the franchise should be doing, both with Dalton Schoen and his knee and Zach Collaros with his concussion problems.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I had the most issue with what Milt Stiegel, not with what Milt Stiegel said, but what O'Shea said to him was, we need to have this time take this time and trust the training staff. And how do you look at this situation in the last couple of years in Winnipeg and everything they've done with Zach Collaros, now Dalton Schoen, and go, yeah, trust those guys. I'd rather trust Dr. Nick from The Simpsons than the training staff in Winnipeg.
No, money down.
Back
Yeah.
to our picks.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Chris Strevler should be starting this game for Winnipeg. Either way, 4.5. Doesn't matter which quarterback. I'm taking Hamilton in this one.
I got Hamilton on this one.
And the coin's got Hamilton.
Second game, the rematch from last week, Ottawa at BC. I'll guess it's BC by 2.5.
I'll go BC by 3.5.
I knew you guys weren't going to get this one. BC 9.5.
Whoa.
What? The team that just collapsed.
Blew it, just collapsed. Yeah, they're getting 9.5 points at home.
Well, that's a Friday doubleheader, though, too, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. It's that late game in BC that gets wacky.
Yeah. Man, BC's not good.
That's a big number, even against the Pretenders, and I can't believe I'm doing this. Give me Ottawa plus the points.
Wow.
I don't think they're going to win, but I
That's
think
a
they'll
lot
cover
of
that number.
Yeah, that's a lot of points.
I got
BC.
BC.
Looking for a romping.
There's your game up on me for that one, Greg. I don't see Ottawa. It's not that I don't see Ottawa winning, but I don't see BC winning by 10.
Wow, that's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. If it
Crumbs.
was 7. It was 7.5.
How
I
did they
might be there.
blow it to Dustin Crum? He's so bad. I'll take BC. What the hell? Just feels like just the late game on a Friday night. Just seems like that's a BC win waiting to happen.
Over under is 55.5 on that one.
Edmonton at Toronto, which might be a Chad Kelly return, but it's going to be Nick Arbuckle starting.
I love that
short
Chad.
is his
I love
leash?
that Chad put that out, and then the team just ignored it.
I'm going to say Toronto Edmonton minus 2.5.
Edmonton 1.5.
Toronto 3.5.
Damn it.
Wow. I think Edmonton wins it outright.
I'm there with you on that one. Nothing but home teams.
Starting to think this is one of those.
Weighted coins.
Yeah.
Well, whichever way you normally flip the coin over the other way first before you flip it and see what happens.
Oh, there we go. All right, I'll try that for the next one.
And
No, I won't.
Final one, Montreal at Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan 6.5.
No, Saskatchewan 7.5.
Saskatchewan in a romp. I think they're going to go for it.
So that absolutely
Bite
is
me.
100% a weighted coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the Riders then.
This is garbage. Hate this coin.
Props to Go for bringing us up. Talk about Legends Night and how the team doesn't, George Reed and all the other games that they've not shown up for. Last year's Plaza Bonner game, that was the game against BC, I think, and the Riders absolutely throttled them.
Yep.
So I can. Corey Mace has a pretty good track record in playing games honoring legends. So I'll take that chance again this year.
I think you guys are right on that pick. Just, I want that out there.
Even though the coin disagrees.
The coin sucks and has sucked for several weeks. So let's hope it continues to suck.
And we'll leave it there. Piffles Podcast is brought to you by our great friends at Dairy Queen on Elphinstone Street and Sask Drive in Regina. Special thanks, of course, to Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level, Churchill Brewing Company, District 306, Regina's Tactical Laser Tech Experience, Bigfoot Vodka, and Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas for their support making this show possible. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for watching on YouTube or SaskTel Max TV on demand. We appreciate it. This is Ghost Behind Your Mind by Tyler Gilbert.
Thank you for being such a big supporter and fan of the CFL and myself personally.